To another episode of Amputee Outdoors. In a recent episode I posted about how I hung my hammock with nothing but long strap of mule tape with knots tied in it, and some people asked, hey, can you show that in a little bit more detail please? So this is what I'm doing in this video. So this is mule tape, and what I've got is a knot tied at this end as a terminator, and a knot tied every 6 inches, or roughly about 6 inches. Sometimes more, sometimes less. I eyeballed it. But what this does then is create a loop for me to be able to hook into. Okay. Now there is some concern that tying all these knots loose weakens this strap, as it would with any other kind of rope or strap or line or anything like that. So this is something to watch out for. So I'm not 100% sure I'm doing the right thing here. I may not, but it hasn't failed me yet. But that's probably a lot to do with the fact that this mule tape stuff, ridiculously strong, ridiculously strong. So let me pause this for a minute, turn the camera so I can show you the detail of how I set it up on one tree, then we'll go to the other tree, and then the hammock set up one piece at a time, okay? Bear with me. All right, so I've got my tree strap already around the tree here, and this is the bag the tree strap came out of. So I want to point out to everybody that has any dealings with trees and tree straps, Ziploc bag, that's where you put your tree straps. And some of you probably already know this. You wrap one of these things around a tree, you get tree sap on it, and then the tree sap gets on your hammock if you put it into the same bag or whatever, and then you've got tree sap everywhere. Always put your tree straps into a separate Ziploc bag so that you don't get that tree sap all over everything else in your backpack. All right, now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a big old mountaining carabiner here. I've got this big guy here, right? And I'm going to hook this into each loop of the tree strap. See that? Okay. That's my terminator. That's my end there. All right. I'm going to start from this, and I'm going to go down to the other tree now and tie it off at that end. Hold on tight now. All right. So here I am at the other tree. Got my tree strap, and I'm going to put it through both loops of the tree strap. Like this. That's one. That's the other. I'm going to pull it through each of these knots here. And some of these knots are bigger than the others. Bear with me. And pull that tight and get it through each knot. All right, so what happens here is I'm going to pull this tight, and each knot kind of gives me the ability to just kind of stop at each place and figure out if it's tight enough. If it's not, I just go through to the next knot. Now, it might be better if I didn't have so many knots, but this is still in the experimental stages, so kind of learning as we go here. All right, now I've pulled this pretty darn tight. So what I'm going to do here is basically a Hennessy lashing. I wrap it around there a couple of times. Do the lash around the tree straps. Like that. Wrap it around. There we go. That's not coming out. That's staying. And that I can put all my weight on. I'm literally hanging from this thing right now. Okay. Now to set up the hammock. Hold on tight now. So I've got my line here. Yep, that's good and secure. So all I'm going to do is find a place, let's say right here. create my little loop there because of the knots, hooking my carabiner on the end of my hammock. That's it. Gonna do the same thing at the other end now. Just hold on. Okay, so I'm at the other end and I'm just gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna find a nice location, make a loop here, hook that on, and then that's it. I'm strung up. Now, the nice thing is I can just move this anywhere along here on the line that I want to be, so I can make it as tight or as loose as I want. It's a very simple system. There are, however, a couple of cons that I've come up with regarding the use of... Sorry, there's a crow that's flying overhead. Huh. So a couple of cons that I've come up with here. One thing about the using this line is that it's not the most durable item when it's in contact with the ground. All right, things like you know, the static climbing rope, very durable stuff. You can get it dirty, you can scrape it over rocks. Doesn't really matter. It's fine. One thing I've noticed with the mule tape is that it abrades kind of easily. Scraping across the ground, or across a boulder, or across a rock, or near on a tree, kind of scrapes this line up a little bit. So that kind of worries me a little bit. Okay. The other thing is that I've got to carry an awful lot of this stuff. I'm carrying a lot more than I think that I want to sometimes, and maybe that's just me being excessive. I'm not sure. But I'm going to try a couple of other systems and see if I can maybe reduce the weight, because the other thing I've got here is I've got 1, 2, 3 carabiners. That's 3 chunks of metal that I'm carrying with me. Now, I'm no ultralighter. However, if I can reduce my weight a little bit, I'm going to see if I can do that, because it's worth it for me. Because anytime I can reduce some of the weight pounding into my socket of my prosthetic leg, I'm going to try and do that. So that's how I've got this set up. Very simple setup, really. Breaking it down, also very easy. Just unhook, pack it away, unlash from one end, unclip from the other end, roll it up, and pack it away in your backpack, and you're done. All right, now if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions about using mule tape, I'd really like to hear about them. And if you have other you know, ideas of how to use mule tape in ways that I've not done, I'd like to hear about those. And of course, the big red subscription button there, if you could click that, that'd be appreciated. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And as always, I hope to see you out on the trail.